I find it to be extremely tiring to vocalize what I feel and what I express inside into my mind, the connection my soul makes to this physical representation of me, to this being. It's exhausting because to push forth the energy feels like trying to make a clear path in mud, if that makes any sense. I feel less authentic when I verbalize things because naturally I like to express myself at a slow pace, meaning I take many pauses. I think a lot about which words I will say, because verbalizing it is just the act of connecting with what my soul and my mind has already thought, these past expressions in my mind, and using what this physical me has collected into language. So it's like I already made that connection, but then I have to make more connections, find words and language, and then express that to push that forward. So to me it seems almost tedious. I really wish that this world used telepathy to communicate, because I feel it's more authentic. I do not feel like my soul resonates well with the way of Earth. It's quite polarized in the emotions and the expressions. None of it feels like true self to me. Even this incarnation of me right now doesn't feel completely authentic, though it is present me. It is not whole me. And to be whole me, it's almost as if I need to live on another planet. It's hard to express exactly what I mean, because I understand that this would be extremely confusing to many people. Naturally, since I was born, the way I've always expressed myself, besides the dark period, which was childhood, probably about, it was developing slowly at probably about age 5, when I began developing ego, until about 16. Now it's slowly dying off. Before that dark age, I was more my true self. I was giggly. I was always joyous. I witnessed a lot of stuff that didn't resonate with me, I'll just put it that way. But it never affected me. None of it ever affected me. In hindsight, I find that kind of what human self would think is bizarre. See, what I'm doing right now is trying to express identity. So it's ego. And I don't quite like it, but I feel pushing this energy out can be effective in some way. I feel naturally like I'm supposed to be very in tune with nature, the planet, whatever planet I live on. I'm supposed to be in tune with nurturing the ecosystem. I believe we are the intelligent beings on this planet, so we can nurture the planet we live on, to protect the ecosystem, to create a utopian-like life. We have that ability, but it's so hard to see right now because we live a very holistic life. We aren't our true selves. We haven't stepped up past mind and body up to soul. We're stuck at mind. So with us being stuck at mind, we want to protect our sense of self, our ego, and the way we advance through science, through ideas, through inventions, through many things, isn't in tune with nature or our soul. And that is why we have created such horrific things, so many weapons, so many chemicals, so many bad things that are poisonous to this planet and all organisms on it. And to the human mind, and I include myself in this because obviously I am in human skin, I am on Earth, it seems normal. We accept this because since birth that is what we saw, and as adults, as beings, I assume you as an adult, you may be younger, older, I don't know. I just mean that the advanced mind here on Earth, or rather the fully formed cognitive mind, I'll say, accepts this because we had to put the pieces of the puzzle together to understand this life and to be a part of life. And what I mean by this is when we are born onto this earth, it is our soul connecting with body. We don't have any cognitive understanding. We're not thinking, we're not identifying ourselves. We're just aware. And that is why, you see infants and they look around, everything is just so, whoa. And many view children as not dumb, but of lower understanding, and that is the label they place on them. But that is only dictating one aspect of them. They don't have cognitive understanding, but they are way, way more connected to their true self than we are. So we should honor children, because that is the beginning of new expression, of new life, of new being. And that is, they're trying to adapt to Earth life from the beginning, if that makes sense. I should say here that I believe when we die, or rather I know, I just don't want to impose my own beliefs on you by saying I know. So I'll say I believe. I believe when we die, what is dying is this physical skin, this tissue, what you see here. All this is dying, it's decomposing, it goes back into the earth. What also dies is the computer in our head, the mind, the logic, the ego. Why I call the brain the computer is because it essentially is. Our soul is the awareness in us. The soul is life. But the mind is the understanding of life. And so that dies along with our body. But our soul cannot die. It's energy. Energy cannot die. So our soul, our energy, goes back to source, to God, to spiritual realm, to whatever you would like to call it. And that is where we reconnect with all the other energy, the souls, and we map out a plan, a contract. This is the only expressions I know how to use here on Earth. Our next life, so our soul can keep evolving. And that is why when we are born, we already are encoded with a certain purpose that we're supposed to have on Earth. And that's why life is so beautiful. We start thinking of life by means of energy. You can understand how wonderful it is. I feel extremely disconnected from Earth life, Earth realm. And I know when I say this, it comes off as I'm cuckoo, because it is not accepted to think outside the box like this. Which is okay. I'm comfortable with it because I know myself. We label or we dictate a certain way our society has to go, and anything outside of that is crazy, it's a disease, it needs to be medicated, it needs to be suppressed. But that's just keeping us contained into this one way. And if we stay into this one way, we are going to die. So, that is why I am not ashamed or embarrassed of expressing this outwards. So, as I was saying,